Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast need to be listening to. On today's episode, we're talking about this week's NXT on the road to some spring breaking. Also, WWE talent worried about possible releases. We're going to talk about what Nick Khan said, perhaps to get some of that WWE talent worried. But first, it's the never-ending drama. It's the gift that always gives here in the wrestling world. We're talking about AEW's backstage drama between CM Punk and the Young Bucks on the upcoming return of CM Punk, which seems to have been confirmed. Larson, what's the latest?
Like it's pretty much a done deal. According to Dave Meltzer in the latest newsletter, CM Punk will likely be coming back to AEW on the June 17th debut of AEW Collision. This is what he said in the newsletter, quote, "As things stand right now, the return of CM Punk is scheduled for the 6/17 show at the United Center in Chicago, which, being a Saturday night show, is likely a debut of the new weekly show. The rumor of the new show name is AEW Collision." So you're all right, Meltzer's got an issue here. It's Collison. That's what they trademarked. But anyways, based on a trademark the company took out some time back when the talks with Warner Brothers Discovery for the new Saturday show got serious. At press time, everything was not finalized, but the building is booked. And it likely will be announced very shortly when the Punk deal and the TV deal are finalized. Obviously, the building deal in place, the TV deal has to either be done or they must almost be certain of it. The decision of Punk returning was made many weeks ago, although there were a snag 2 weeks back that has evidently been worked out. Obviously, being at the United Center, the show will be heavily promoted and have a theme name, which evidently has been decided upon. So Meltzer also mentioned that Punk's return was apparently pivotal in AEW securing this new Saturday night show, saying, quote, "We do know that he was extremely important in this deal. Whether the deal was incumbent on him, we've heard both ways. One person outside the company has seen correspondence indicating that Warner Brothers Discovery definitely wanted him back, and other things that have happened in recent weeks, very much behind the scenes, have indicated to us that Punk being back is, if nothing else, very significant in everything."
Yeah, so I think
apparently Warner Brothers Discovery agrees Phil is plus Delta.
He's the plus Delta. Like, I have no doubt that they've got all sorts of metrics and analytics to suggest as such, and I think they're probably right about that. It makes me wonder if anybody's broached the idea, okay, wait a second. When he inevitably gets injured on a second match back, what then?
I know.
Does he stick around? Do we perhaps find a new wrestler and give them the CM Punk name?
Saturday show canceled.
Do we
no
simply
Phil,
cancel
no
the
show.
show? Can we run reruns of Big Bang Theory instead?
Oh my goodness.
Can we bring the guy who plays Sheldon in to play CM Punk? Is that a possibility? Man, the ratings will go through the roof. What's that dude's name? Jim, what is it?
Parsons.
Jim Parsons?
Yeah.
There you go.
Jim Parsons. That's when they get Nick Collison to start his pro wrestling career. He's a new CM.
Yeah, the Collison joke is done, man. You got to
bury
bury
that
not.
Thing. Not.
Oh man. So anyways, continuing on. What about the drama between Punk and the others? All the other people in AEW don't want to work with him. So, according to Dave Meltzer, there was a rumored meeting between Punk, Jericho, Tony Khan, and FTR that hasn't happened yet. This was supposed to happen. But Wade Keller had some details about what led to the meeting, or what led to the potential meeting, and hopefully people backstage in AEW that this meeting will lead to fences being mended. These transcripts come to you via wrestlingnews.co. Wade Keller said this. The idea being FTR saying, we're pitching the idea. Let's moderate. We're a neutral party, and we can help let Jericho and Punk work things out. You're already laughing, Larson. I'll continue, and then you can let us know what the joke is. Jericho is the closest confidant of Tony Khan right now when it comes to things that include him but go beyond him. I don't know how often, but there's times where it's like, where's Tony? Oh, he's in Chris's hotel room, or he's off in this restaurant booth talking to Chris, or wherever they talk. I'm assuming it's a Denny's and they're having some moons over my hammy. No.
Yeah.
He says, and it's not just about Chris Jericho stuff, like Jericho is a sounding board. There are people in the company who tell Tony, listen to Chris, he's been around. You can't trust anybody 100%, but Chris isn't like some secret agent who's sabotaging AEW. I think he's loyal to AEW. That's what people say at this point. And so I think FTR and Punk are aware of that. Among the people I've talked to, there's not a high level of confidence that the meeting is going to go well, that the meeting is going to go well, that it could make things worse, but maybe not. Maybe things will work out. But people who have been around Punk know Punk. People know people who have known Punk for a very long time are not optimistic that FTR mediating a meeting between Jericho and Punk is going to lead to progress. The other thing is it just sounds by every indication that the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson's heels are dug in. And I think the Brandon Cutler comment adds to it. I just don't see those parties reconciling. So Brandon Cutler had a Twitter response to the Punk. I think it was a Deadspin article that Bixenspan had written about Punk gaslighting AEW, and Brandon Cutler had said something along the line. He affirmed,
somebody gets it, I think is what
right,
the comment
exactly.
was. And then he put it up and it was quickly deleted. So I just kind of giggle at the idea that FTR is an impartial party to all this, and they're the one mediating this whole thing. Because first of all, who's the boss in AEW?
Tony Khan. Shouldn't
he be mediating this whole thing?
Well, yeah, but I understand that maybe. And look, this is a conversation, right? So I'm bringing some other sides here because I agree with you. Maybe the idea is the boys, the wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
They're their own culture. And maybe you need the wrestlers to figure this out because Tony Khan is, to a degree, an outsider.
He's management.
Right. So maybe that's the situation. Now, where I think it is funny, and I agree with your chuckle, is FTR clearly is not an unbiased actor here. And God bless Dax for, I think, trying to put this all together, and then bowing out of his podcast because he says, everybody hates me now because I'm trying to provide this point of view. But it's like, man, I don't know. I think the intentions are probably good, but when you're so clearly aligned with CM Punk publicly and evidently privately, it's difficult to see, I would think, from their point of view, that the FTR as an unbiased mediator figure.
Exactly. And that's why it seems odd that they are the ones apparently playing the mediator role as opposed to someone who seems as an outside observer as we are.
Right.
We're not in the AEW locker room.
No.
Someone who would be a respected figure in the locker room who would be more or less unbiased, have no part in any of this.
Right. Yeah.
If someone like, I'll just throw this name out there. I don't know where he fits in this whole thing, but if Bryan Danielson was like,
that's
sure,
exactly the name I was thinking of too.
I'll mediate this.
Right.
I understand he's probably close with Mox. I know in the past he's been friendly with Punk, I think.
Yeah, but we haven't heard anything about like Punk blasting him, but he has blasted Mox. Yep. Right. And Danielson is a senior name who's obviously
in the locker
been
room
for a long time. He's
got a name like that.
Yeah.
A name like that. Then I'd be like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because as far as I know, he has no part in any of this.
Does it say anything? And again, specify we are outsiders looking in, but this stuff is kind of interesting. Does it say anything to us that Danielson's name hasn't been used as a guy that they can go to and say, hey, can you mediate this? Or does it say Danielson's like, my name's Bennett and I ain't in it. My name is Paul. This is between y'all.
I would guess. And it's a major if, because we don't know.
Yeah, right.
If he was asked, like, what's in it for him? To get involved in this.
Yeah.
Again, it's in a vacuum of leadership. I wouldn't necessarily expect. I understand the idea that the locker room kind of polices itself. I kind of understand that point to a degree.
Yeah.
But when this is something kind of company wide, where there's a lack of leadership and a lack of structure from the very top, this seems like an opportunity for Tony Khan to say, okay, I need to institute some structure and have there be some consequences. Socks Waving Cat says Sting should mediate. That's another great name.
Right. Yeah.
I know Punk's team was Sting, but I don't know what their relationship's like. I don't know anything about that. Again, a veteran of someone probably everyone in the locker room respects.
Yeah. That would make sense. Yeah, you're right. You need like an Undertaker, like that's what we had heard about him.
I mean, based on what we've heard about some of the rulings the Undertaker made, I don't know if he was someone like the Undertaker judging this. No.
Fair enough.
Like Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has been for a number of years the locker room leader in WWE.
Yeah.
You know, he's well respected by his peers, and if he says something, people listen.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I don't know if there's that central,
He says,
figure
get
in
Trench to
AEW.
mediate. Somebody get Trench in here, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure maybe Jericho sees himself as that type of individual, but he's too enmeshed in this at this point.
Oh yeah, man. He's in the thick
So Sting, Danielson, if it's going to be something the locker room handles first before going to Tony, then they need someone that's actually impartial to mediate this, as opposed to FTR, who's obviously wants Punk back.
It just seems like a mess.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of rich people arguing over fake fighting. And it's like, come on, man, just get on the same damn page. All you got to do in there is put on a play. You know, it's like, what? I don't understand why it was after Hangman said what he said during his promo.
Yeah.
If Punk had an issue with that, Tony Khan did immediately say, okay, stop. Let's go to Denny's. Let's get Moons over Miami and let's talk about this shit, because this is not what was planned for my fake fighting show.
How many times have we said that? Countless times. That's what I'm talking about. Like in an absence of leadership, if Tony Khan was a leader, he would have noticed, okay, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
And addressed it.
Yeah, right.
And if either party, if Hangman or Punk said anything to Tony Khan, it's like, so I think they're crossing the line.
Yeah.
Address it.
Yeah. Yeah,
you have to address it. You're the boss.
I know, dude. I don't know what you do in this situation. Like, what are the like? If we were to talk to him, if we were to talk to me, would he be like, you know, like, guys, it is a madhouse. You know, it's like, you try getting these guys on the same page. Like, dude, you've got all the money. You're writing the checks. Yeah, but oh man, you see the contract.
No, they stole my checkbook.
They stole my checkbook. I can't find my wallet.
You know that check that MJF had Sammy Guevara fill out Dynamite?
Yeah.
It's my check.
Whose name is that? It's my name on it. I mean, look, it's probably really difficult. It's probably really hard. And I'm not saying it's not. That's why I wouldn't do that shit. You know?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man, you're the boss. You're writing the checks. Like, he's got a history, you know, working with NFL players. I mean, talk about drama. You've heard a lot of the shit that goes on in locker rooms in the NFL, man. It's crazy.
Yep.
So I don't know. It just sounds like there's so many egos, but somebody's got to put their foot down and be like, hey, listen, get it together.
Yeah.
You know.
We all got to work together here, people.
Yeah. Exactly.
So speaking of the Young Bucks, Meltzer confirmed that there has yet to be any efforts made, apparently, for Punk and the Young Bucks to reconcile, saying in the newsletter, quote, as of the weekend, there was no resolution to the situation. There are many situations and things involved. Since I've been asked about this a lot, Punk has not apologized or attempted to make any direct amends to the Young Bucks, although those close to him said that's because he's been told not to have any contact with them. Without any contact, he couldn't. Nobody has said he would if he could or he wouldn't, because there are people who want everyone to make amends, and that was suggested by many of, at least in a way, an attempt at a way. So if there's a gag order, if you will.
He's not allowed to contact them. He's not allowed to send a text message saying, hey, guys, listen, I probably shouldn't have said you couldn't manage a target, which, by the way, is wrong in ways because that's probably really hard, too. It's probably a lot more difficult.
Yeah, managing a target's going to be tough. Inventory, all that shit.
So hard. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's the word. Holiday seasons?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Black Friday alone would cause, nightmare. Probably. Yeah, nightmare
Panic
situation.
attacks and such. Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, I don't know. It is hilarious. It is silly. It's pretty ridiculous.
Again, this is a situation where it's odd, like, to essentially say to Punk, and maybe it goes both ways. Maybe the elite's not allowed to contact Punk either. But like,
not allowed by who?
I think it has to be Tony Khan.
He can't. Well, he's gonna put his foot down on people contacting each other.
That's why it's weird. Because like the only reason you think they would come, what you think CM Punk's going to text Nick Jackson? Oh, I really sucker punched the shit out of you, didn't I? No, he's not going to do that. If he's going to contact him, it's like, hey man, I'm sorry, things went too far. I apologize. Otherwise, he fucking wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, I know, but that's the thing. It's like, come on, wait, you're not allowed to contact them, even to apologize. That's the thing holding you back. Yeah. Nah, man, real life doesn't work like that. It doesn't. Yeah, like you're making
I
whatever.
know,
how
that's
many
why this all
millions a
seems
year.
weird. This all seems weird.
It is weird. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like everybody's trying to get their point of view out through the dirt sheets. Hey, I want, hey, out of all these people, whose point of view would you want to have leaked to us?
Just us specifically?
Yeah, because like, Meltzer's got his people. He's got people in AEW leaking it to him. Wade Keller probably has people leaking it to him. One of these wrestlers needs to reach out to us so we can start leaking their point of view.
That's true. That's true.
We need somebody inside saying, "Oh man, you know what? I heard Brandon Cutler's people close to him say that
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
If you hear from somebody, he's not supposed to say who it is on the show.
Oh, my bad. People close to Brandon Cutler, people close to QT Marshall are saying that Tony Khan says no more McGriddles because it gets you guys. It's too much sugar. You guys start running around like crazy people.
Yeah.
Oh boy, all this conversation.
It just seems like at every step of this whole thing, there's a fork in the road. You either make the situation more of a mess, or you can try to alleviate some of the tension. It seems like path after path. This is like if a choose your own adventure book where every choice you make leads to you dying, and you have to go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Every decision here seemingly at varying degrees seems to make the situation more tense, not less.
Yeah. They're just digging themselves into a bigger hole, man.
Rather than just, hey, everybody get in a room.
Mm-hmm.
Let's work this out now.
Yeah. Maybe Tony Khan just doesn't like awkward situations. He's like, oh, that just seems really awkward. I don't want to do that. I'm just a wrestling fan, But that's
why
why
who writes notes on a legal pad and makes it a wrestling show. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, man.
I don't know. But if you're gonna be the boss, if you're gonna run a wrestling promotion, this is stuff that you have to deal with.
Be awkward situations. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to deal with it. Otherwise, this is the situation you're in. Where you have two of your biggest acts that can't stand to be in the same building together and can't work on the same night.
Yeah. It just gets worse and worse, man.
It does get worse and worse.
Oh boy. So before we continue on talking about WWE talent about actually getting released, like my goodness, at least everybody we're talking about right now, they're still going to be on pay-per-views and stuff. Some WWE talents are worried about getting released because of stuff that Nick Khan's saying. Mm-hmm. Before we get to that, man, our YouTube has exploded with gifts and memberships. Leisha Harding here gifted 10 memberships to the YouTubers. John Hosey gifted 5 memberships.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Donkey Dong here gifted a membership as well. Thank you, Donkey Dong. And then Leisha gifted 10 more.
Oh my goodness.
Memberships.
Thank you so much.
And then we got a super chat here from Justifiable Treason. Says the progression of FTR from underutilized awesome tier wrestlers to loudmouth whiners has been a strange but hilarious one. I think in FTR's case, I think that Dax's intentions are sound. I think they're good. Too. I really do. He seems like a good guy who just wants to talk about Bret Hart matches, but finds himself embroiled in drama, and it's causing havoc, as he said, with his own mental health. And I feel for the guy, but when you put the drama out there, that's when you start to get into trouble.
I know. And I feel Cash because he's catching a lot of this and he's not involved in it.
He's not even on the podcast.
No.
Yeah. Logan Sampson here with the super chat says this is the same as Steve mediating a conversation between Larson and Triple H. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Big MGM with the super chat says starting to see why Vince is the way he is. Well, Vince, yeah, I don't know about all that. Marcus here with the super chat says, please, Lord, let Jim Cornette mediate for comedy purposes. Put that on All Access is what I'd say.
Oh, my goodness.
I think that'd be absolutely great. They stole my checkbook. Hidden Network here with the membership. Thank you very much, Hidden Network. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's too much, man. It's too much.
My goodness.
So let's talk about this, man. A WWE talent. Getting worried about releases. There's obviously, with the upcoming merger of WWE and UFC's business enterprises under Endeavor, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty. And during a recent interview with Lightshed Partners, Nick Khan mentioned that WWE would likely be making cuts after the merger with UFC was complete, saying, and these transcripts come to you via SE Scoops, if you look at what Endeavor was able to take out cost-wise from UFC in 2016, or shortly after that deal was done, we have the same expectation here. We think $50 million is a really conservative number. We have integration teams now. We're going to get those in shape. I think we'll have a better sense of it in a month or two. We're going to be pretty aggressive with them to make sure that for our shareholders and for our company, our organization is as lean and mean as possible. And we're going to rely on the Endeavor flywheel to make up the rest. It's a lot of business talk here.
There really is a lot of business talk.
Shortly after that interview, PW Insider reported that there is, quote, some bubbling paranoia among talents in the last few weeks about roster cuts, especially among those who Triple H brought back to WWE once he took control of creative. In the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer mentioned this. Khan had previously talked about a minimum of $50 million per year in budget cuts, but emphasized that production and creative would not be affected. This has led to a lot of concern among talent, particularly those Paul Levesque brought back after Vince McMahon left. There have been no significant talent cuts since Levesque took over as head of creative, and a lot of new signees, although of late, the new signees have mainly been Division I college athletes on the developmental side. So as you know, there hasn't been they didn't sign Jay White and there was rumors that they were after him. There's been a number of individuals that WWE has just sort of passed on.
Of course, Fightful reported that there was kind of an unspoken or hiring freeze.
Yeah, right.
Leading up to the merger. It's not unusual when companies sell or they merge that staff gets cut.
Yeah.
And it's a bummer. It's a massive bummer. $50 million seems like an awful lot. And if he says that's a conservative number, I'd assume that's on the low end.
So this is a super unfortunate reality of mergers like this. I would imagine that I don't know how many. I'm sure I could probably Google it. I'm not sure how many employees in total that WWE employs. It's probably a great number. But when things like this happen, WWE and UFC merging into one entity, there is going to be overlap with, these transition teams come in and say, okay, well, what does Endeavor already bring to the table that we don't need anymore in WWE as a standalone entity? And I get the feeling that that's probably more what Nick Khan is talking about. Because
as opposed to talent cuts, yes.
As opposed to talent cuts.
Yeah.
If I guess it all sort of depends on, I have no doubt that, it's one of two things. Either Triple H is going to, say, no, in order for us to put on our product, we need everybody that I signed. I didn't sign anybody that we didn't need. We already do cuts in NXT when new signees are not ready for TV within a specified period of time. They are cut. We know that. So maybe they'll take that tact, or maybe he will be like every other department, or his department will be like every other department, and he'll be given, a list of budgetary cuts that he will then decide or make the decision on how to make. That's probably a scenario as well. The bottom line is, over the next 4 to 6 months, as this merger takes place, I imagine there's going to be a lot of unfortunate, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening that's going to make people uneasy about their jobs. And that's sad. That is very sad. It's an unfortunate reality of business today.
To answer your question about how many people does WWE employ, this is from macrotrends.net. 890 employees.
Yeah.
So you got to think like marketing teams.
Right.
Probably not production, because that needs to be distinct or unique from
accounting departments.
Yeah.
Theoretical
digital
HR departments.
A lot of teams that
analytics.
A lot of teams that both UFC and WWE have. They'll find a way to merge those teams probably.
Yeah.
Production wouldn't be involved because WWE needs their own unique production team.
Right,
on the road every week, and same with creative. So it makes sense why those departments wouldn't be up for cuts per se.
But it wouldn't also shock me, given that Vince wanted his roster evidently to be a lot smaller than it is. If he's at the head, he might be the one who sends down, hey, we have to make some releases here. So that wouldn't shock me either. So I don't know. It'll be interesting, and hopefully, if there are cuts to whoever in WWE, like anybody else, hopefully they land on their feet, and they make the most out of their time there, build some relationships, and are able to come out of it okay. But yeah, no, that's unfortunate. You hate to hear that stuff.
Yeah.
Marcus
really
here with the $5 super chat says, "New they stole my checkbook" shirt coming. It's always possible.
Well, we're taking a break here before we go to our NXT recap. If you're watching on YouTube, I know there's 445 people watching right now. I can see it. If you're watching now, watching the VOD at any time, if you could please give this video a thumbs up. We appreciate it. And when Triple H comes on later, chat. He really likes it. If we get over 200, it really makes his day. We're doing the SmackDown preview. Stoked.
Yeah,
he looks at those thumbs up and sees 200 of them or more.
He's going to be here a little bit later, so that's exciting stuff. And yeah, by the way, if you do click join, or if you are a recipient of one of the awesome friendos that gifted a membership, or if you're on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson, you get access later on today to our bonus episode, Overrun. I don't know exactly what we're going to talk about. I know we do have a Numbers Don't Lie with the Usos, so we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be introducing a new weekly feature where our Friendo Brain Trust helps us come up with the programming for next week's Friendo Club Wrestling, our sister channel, where we have a bunch of short form content there. So we're going to be talking about that, so you guys can help influence the direction of the Friendo Club Wrestling channel as part of that, as part of being there live for Overrun. And then, of course, you also got access to our questions threads and the upcoming May Predictions Challenge. That's right. Every month we have our Predictions Challenge available to YouTube channel members and patrons of $5 and up. You can become the new digital Big Red champion right now. Our very own, the Enforcer, has that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to talk NXT on the road to spring breaking?
Sure. Yes, it seems interesting that they got kind of this mini pay-per-view thing they got going, about 3 weeks after WrestleMania weekend, after Stand Deliver, which is their own kind of WrestleMania. Because we're getting a lot of stories that's kind of fast-tracked, it feels like.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to jam probably a month and a half's worth of story into this Grayson Waller, Carmelo Hayes feud. So like maybe that's why they did the Waller effect thing, the talk show. I don't know about how strong of a go home it is to do a talk show in the main event of your go home show, but that's just probably my own.
Yeah,
own thing.
We're
not really huge on talk shows being like the go home segment, but
yeah.
There was some good back and forth there.
Yeah, we're not huge on the talk show stuff in general.
Let's talk about Nathan Frazier's new talk show, kind of.
What did you think of that? Yeah.
So it's very, aesthetically, it's very influenced by John Oliver.
I think that's the inspiration. I get the feeling that's sort of the inspiration. As I felt the same. It's really well produced. Like it looks.
It is well produced, but it's interesting because aesthetically, it's very much John Oliver, but in terms of Nathan Frazier's
content.
The content. Well, the point of this, it doesn't seem to be, because it's not like analyzing the news of the day with a comedic twist. That's not what it was. It was. I don't want to say self-help, but it's almost to that.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like sort of an inspirational look or an introspective. Yeah.
So it's an interesting amalgam of the John Oliver presentation plus what I don't know what the inspiration for the actual content is. But I thought his delivery was fine. He felt comfortable. Felt he sounded believable. I didn't dislike it. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it evolves and sort of what becomes ultimately the point of it in getting him really what as a character and what we know he needs to get ahead, and that's just wins.
Yeah.
And dude's got to win matches.
Yeah.
And is this going to be something that, do they just have the seed of it right now? Do they know where it's going? What the point of it is? And like how it'll advance? Because it's one thing to sort of have a singular promo, regardless of how it's packaged, be, sort of an introspective, I need to do better type thing. I'm lost and I need to do better. What will the journey of this be? Is he going to have guests on it? Is he going to have people that he's lost to on it to sort of, for him to come to a greater understanding of why he's sucking right now. I like the presentation, and he does seem very comfortable doing it. He's a very genuine personality. There's nothing about Nathan Frazier that's ever felt forced or not genuine.
Yeah.
So he's got that going for him. But now with NXT, with them loading up on characters who really can do what he can do, standing out is going to be the toughest thing for Nathan Frazier, because you have Axiom, who's got like a really great look and is a terrific wrestler. And it seems like they understand that, because I think they're high on Axiom.
Yeah.
Between him and Wes Lee, who's sort of like the pinnacle of that type of wrestler.
Well, the high flyer cruiserweight style wrestler, because you got Wes Lee, you got Axiom, you got Dragon Lee now, you got Nathan Frazier.
And if you look at, the thing is, when you look at all those wrestlers, Wes Lee and Nathan Frazier, there's a lot of overlap there. Like Wes Lee is a very genuine personality who nothing about what he does or says seems forced. Yeah. He's just likable wrestler who wants to fight. He's a good guy, and he's one of the top wrestlers of the company. Nathan Frazier is all those things, but Wes Lee is the champion of that. Yeah. and he's been around a little bit longer. And so unfortunately, when there's overlap like that, somebody's going to come out ahead and somebody's not. And I think that might be the point of this redo of Nathan Frazier, is to try to get him to do something unique that isn't what Wes Lee is doing. And so hopefully it'll work. I don't know where this is going to go, but hopefully that'll accomplish something to make him stand out from, what Wes Lee is already doing, which is very similar.
Yeah. You're right about that. And I guess it's, how do you stand out and how do you craft a character that motivates feuds and matches?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because as of right now, this first edition of Hard Hitting Home Truths is very introspective. It's talking about himself.
Yeah.
When is he going to direct his philosophy, his musings to, the NXT universe, the rest of the locker room?
Yeah.
And how is that going to motivate matches? That's going to be the interesting aspect of it.
And NXT has been relatively successful with things like with concepts like that. Like, okay, how are they going to motivate feuds and stories with Chase U? They've been very successful with that.
Yeah, they have.
But at the very beginning, it was like, how is this going to work? Well, they've shown us that it actually works pretty damn well. And so, I'm willing to give HBK the benefit of the doubt when it comes to whatever this weird news format is. So I guess we'll just sort of see where it goes from there.
So what'd you think of Brooks Jensen, his transformation?
It's my guilty pleasure, I think, in wrestling right now.
Yeah.
Because it's really bad. Obviously, the entire thing is really bad. But it's really bad in a really charming way. And everybody is giving it their all. And it's so cheesy, and it's shot like a soap opera. And I'm reasonably sure, number one, a lot of their outside the ring production stuff is getting really good.
Yeah.
What's the new guy that's going to be debuting soon? Who's throwing the furniture?
Yeah, that was great.
That was awesome.
Furniture around.
That was really cool, and it was filmed really cool too.
Oba Femi?
Okay. I thought that stuff was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
And a lot of the stuff that they're filming, well, this stuff, the Jensen stuff, comes off very soap opera-y, and I think that's the point of it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what it's supposed to do. Yeah, it's hilarious, and I like seeing it on my TV because it's entertaining. And they're gonna do a mixed match thing, I guess, at Spring Breakin', which is pretty fun. So yeah, I think I think number one, I thought it looked pretty cool in that new outfit. I thought that looked pretty neat. I was like,
with the mustache. Yeah,
man, I think it looks great. It's because it's so cheesy, but I'm like, I kind of feel this more than the country bar guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. I think the crowd's gonna pop big when all their issues are resolved and they come back together and it's been revealed that Kiana's really been cheating on him or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm in it because it's entertaining and it's fun and it's goofy and it's not. I'm gonna say it's stopping short of being cringy, because being cringy means I want to turn my TV off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think of it?
No, I mean, I think you got it right. It is cheesy, it's corny, but it's supposed to be. And it hasn't crossed over into cringe yet, as mentioned. It's gotten close a few times. but it hasn't got to the point where I'm like, oh gosh.
Mm-hmm,
When I see when those segments, I was like, I don't want to watch this.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I'm always curious to see what they do with it next. Story,
right. That's the point. Like that's why it's good in that way, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it keeps you interested in how they're going to develop the story further.
Yeah. And it's some of it is in an ironic way, you know. It's like I want to see some more bad acting by Josh Briggs. I like Josh Briggs. I think he's got a presence to him, and he should probably not be doing goofy shit like this.
Yep.
But he really takes it seriously, and everybody does take it seriously. So I appreciate that. But dude, we need to talk about the biggest thing about this week's show, and that's Von Wagner finally opening up to Mr. Stone, Larson. Yes, go ahead.
Did Von do a Wikipedia search on himself? It's like Robert says, like, I need you to open up. I need you to open up. And all that Von says is, I have pro wrestling in my blood.
Hey,
my dad was a Beverly brother. And then like a light bulb goes off. Robert Stone, like Google this dude. You can find this stuff out. Stone.
Well, I think Stone needed Von Wagner to say it. He needed him to show him that he understands. Hey, my name's Von. He said, my name's Von. He literally did read the first paragraph, the first 2 lines of his Wikipedia entry. Hey, my name's Von Wagner, and I really wanted to be a WWE superstar since I was a little kid because I'm the son of a Beverly brother.
Yeah.
He expressed a desire to keep Stone around and to buy into Stone's philosophy. And I was not expecting that. I thought it was hilarious, man. I desperately want to know what he's going to reveal next.
Oh, I know.
He's going to, because Stone next week, Stone's going to be like, all right, man, keep opening up. Hey, I'm 6'5" and I weigh almost 300 pounds. Okay, that's good, Vaughn. You're opening up. You're letting me know now just facts about yourself.
Exactly. Hey, sometimes I don't wipe my rear end after I use the potty.
That's too much, Von Wagner. I need to know what's in your heart, not the shit in your butt. That's disgusting. Hey, I like wrestling with my shirt off, and sometimes I go through the drive-thru at fast food with my pants off too. Okay, dude, that's your weird sexual perversions that are probably illegal, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I think that Von Wagner's on his way, because here's the thing: he's going to open up to Robert Stone, and then he's going to get some wins.
He needs to do a lot more opening up, I feel like, before the wins are coming.
Deep voice dude says, "Hey, I killed the guy in Kyle O'Reilly's front yard." No, it's, hey, I found a body in my backyard. I didn't know what to do with it, and I tried to get Kyle O'Reilly to help me with it, but then he went to AEW.
Stone, can you help me?
Stone, can you help me? It's like beyond rotting now. I can start to see. I'm seeing bone now. Oh my God, Von Wagner. Vaughn. Listen to me. Call the cops.
Call the police.
You should have done that a long time ago. Call the police. Anyways, NXT kicked off with Gallus, the Creeds, and Schism brawling out to the ring. And then eventually we had the actual match. Gallus versus Creeds versus Grizzled Young Dyad.
Yep. Fun bout. Really fun bout. Tons of fun.
Yeah, no, this is a ton of fun, man. Those Creeds, oh boy, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, Julius Creed is a crazy athletic dude.
Mm-hmm.
So down towards the finish, Gallus looking for their finisher. Grizzled Young Veterans pulled Mark out of the ring. Julius Creed pulls Wolfgang out of the ring. Creed send Wolfgang in the ring steps, and Grizzled Young Veterans do the same to Mark. So the Creeds and Grizzled Young Veterans in the ring by themselves. They start throwing hands. Gibson and Drake, gosh, I had to think to remember their names now, hit a double team powerbomb on Brutus, and then Julius hits them with a double suplex, and Ava gets on the apron to distract Julius. So then Gibson gets up, chops Julius in the throat, and Grizzled Young Veterans look for a doomsday something. Creeds fight out of it, dump James Drake to the floor. He tumbles into Ivy Nile. Mm-hmm. So the Creeds hit a doomsday Brutus ball, and after that's done, Julius looks, sees Ivy down, goes to check on her. So then Brutus turns around as Gallus gets back in the ring. They hit their finish on Brutus to get the win and retain the tag titles.
That's right. Yeah.
Are they going to break up the Creeds?
Oh, man. When I see Julius, I see WWE champion in 5 years. I do. I think that dude, he's got the look. He's got the talent. His promos are dog shit right now, so he definitely needs a lot more time doing promos.
Yeah.
But I think if he's able to nail genuine, which he hasn't yet, if he can do that, which sometimes people can pick that up pretty quickly if given the right teacher or enough reps or whatever.
Yeah.
He's going to go far.
Yeah, he could. He definitely could.
So would it be more beneficial for them to get drafted up to main roster for 3 years and then you split them, or do you split them before and you have him go on a run in NXT as a solo guy? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I guess this depends on how impactful you want their breakup to be.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
So earlier in the day, Dijak's in the parking lot. He's getting interviewed. He's asked about the draft, and he says, "Hey. Yeah, that's right."
Yeah.
He says, "If Raw or SmackDown want hard justice, they know where to find me." Oh,
let me do this one, man.
Sure.
He said, "If Raw or SmackDown want hard justice, they know where to find me." He's asked about Ilya. He says, "Yeah, that's right. Ilya was the most feared man in NXT until I showed up." And the camera guy offers a follow-up, and he says, "Look, I'm trying to get in the building. Get out of here." So he pushes him down. Camera goes down like this. But then Apollo Crews is there. He's like, "Hey, what the heck, dude?" And he's like, "Hey, worry about yourself, all right? Stay out of my way." And then Apollo's like, "Oh, you're in my way now." And he says, "Oh, I know what this is. With the draft coming up, you want to show up and show out. Let's go tonight. Come on, let's do it now." And Crews is like, "Come on, my schedule's wide open." It's like, "Mine's not. I'm about to go to Arby's, get some curly fries."
But I'll fit you in between Arby's and Arby's.
It's like, wait a second. You're walking into the building. Yeah, just drop my stuff off.
I got my stuff off.
I got door.
Room my car for Arby's.
You want me to get you anything? Oh, man.
Then we got Nathan Frazier's new late night show, Hard Hitting Home Truth. So he introduces the first episode and says, since I've returned from injury, things haven't been going so well. Come close every time, but something is just missing. And last week I came to a realization. This place is cutthroat. Everyone here is quality, otherwise they wouldn't be here. And you don't have to bitch or moan. You have to look inward. Because the realization I had last week was that I can never be sad, never be depressed, never be down the dumps if I never slow down. In life, speed is important. It defies gravity. If you're constantly doing things, constantly looking for ways to improve yourself, to look forward, to attack life, unhappiness can't catch you. With that being said, time to practice what I preach and turn this ship around." But he's got like a blazer on and a button-up shirt. Yeah. He's got his hair kind of like combed back. He's got a little bit of stubble.
I'm looking at his general thesis here. If you're constantly doing things, constantly looking for ways to improve yourself, to move forward,
what he's essentially saying
life.
is if you're dealing with something, just outrun it. That's what he's saying.
Right, yeah. Essentially, like, run away from your happiness, from your unhappiness. Don't confront the root of it.
Yes.
See if that works out for him.
Yeah.
After that, we had Noam Dar the Supernova versus Miles Bourne.
They changed this theme, which bummed me out.
Oh, Noam Dar's?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's par for the course, though, these days.
I know.
Is it similar?
No.
Okay.
Completely different.
So they didn't try to do the thing where they made it.
No,
Yeah. Does it sound crap?
It just didn't really. I'm so used to his old theme. It just fit him so well. Like the rhythm of his entrance, I have in my mind
and he moves to the rhythm of it. Yeah.
Yes, bar for bar to his old theme, and this other theme came out. I was like, this doesn't feel right.
It doesn't sound at all like Oasis.
No,
because I feel like he's a big Oasis fan because of the Supernova thing.
Yeah. But no, it doesn't sound anything like Oasis. No.
Come on, just license Champagne Supernova.
Something.
Yeah.
Don't Look Back in Anger. Some Oasis song.
She's Electric. That's good rustling thing.
Oh, wow.
She's electric. She's got a family full of eccentrics. I need more time.
Steve, number one Oasis fan there.
Number one. I used to like him quite a bit. Not anymore. Let's see here. Roxanne Perez had a promo. Said, this is like a little video thing here. Said, Zoe Stark, WWE Universe, that you can go in the ring and you definitely get your flowers for it. But that doesn't get, no, it's fine. But that doesn't give you, I should have improv that one. But that doesn't give you free reign to run people down the way you do. Preying on people you perceive as weak just makes you the weakest one of all. Tonight you'll learn that character triumphs over talent every time. I want to regain my title from Indy and Tiffany Stratton. I know you're listening. Let me tell you something. You believe that you're the number one contender. If I have to go through to get my title back, that's exactly what I'll do. Tonight, Zoe Stark, I shut you up.
Yep. Then earlier in the day, Kiana's in her office and Briggs steps in and says, Kiana, do you have a minute? She says, yes, I do. I have more than a minute since I'm no longer a champion anymore, thanks to you and Fallon. And so Briggs goes, all right, can you talk to Brooks for me?
Briggs starts to tear up during this segment.
Yeah, he gets super emotional. He does. And she says, why would I ever help you again? And Briggs says, because when you and Brooks were having problems, we tried to get you two back together. And Kiana says, yeah, I'm the best thing that ever happened to him. He's not going to go for it, though. He didn't want to see you last week and doesn't want to see you now. And Briggs says, I know how he can be, but we share a bond. We started together here in NXT. Whatever's going on, it can't end like this. And Kiana's like, yeah, how is that my fault? And Briggs is like, no. Just please, can you just talk to Brooks? And she says, well, you can talk to him yourself. And so he steps in with a nice button-up shirt, some loafers, got his hair in a ponytail. He's got a mustache now. Mm-hmm. And so Briggs asks him, Brooks asks Kiana, I was like, did you let Briggs in or did you break in this time, Briggs? And he says, you should probably go. And Briggs says, why don't you come to the bar, have a couple drinks, we can hash this out.
Yeah.
And Brooks says, we're not family. I'm tired of being treated like a kid. Kiana treats me like a man, like my own man.
Yeah.
And Briggs says, we've always treated you like a brother. And the man that pushed me down the other week, the man I'm staring at right now, I don't know who this is. Mm-hmm. And Brooks says, this is a man who makes his own decisions. Right now, I'm making a decision for you to leave.
Yeah. You know what, man? Briggs deserves every single one of these words from Jensen. He really does. They broke into her office.
Yep.
Like they were trying to get her personal business, trying to spill it across the entire NXT universe.
Yep.
They deserve all this flack.
Yep.
And Jensen seems happier for it. And now he's apparently getting a little bit of action, and that's good for him. Oh, my. After that, we're going to have an Odyssey Jones match. Instead, Braun Breaker hits the ring and spears the shit out of Odyssey Jones once he gets in the ring.
Yeah, that was a huge spear.
It was. He gets on the mic and he cuts heel promo number 3. He says,
don't
hey,
you
Odyssey.
Love it? Sorry, don't you love it when someone turns heel and says, I told you you're going to see a different side of me?
It's the most unnatural thing.
It really is.
Yeah. He says, yeah, that's what happens when you get in my way. Last week I came out here and told these... Are you allowed to say redneck anymore? I don't think you're allowed to say that anymore, are you?
I don't know. That's he said it, though.
I think it's a bad word. He says, told these fat rednecks that they're going to see a different... This is his words, not mine. They're going to see a different side of me now, and I couldn't help it. Now I'm bad guy. I had to come out here and put an end to the pathetic Chase U ceremony. They're all clowns. They're good guys. I'm bad guys. If you want to be clowns, go join the circus. Get a dog. Be a tightrope act. Not going to happen in my time anymore. Odyssey Jones felt it. Our NXT champ felt it. And Andre Chase felt it. And I'm coming. But before he gets a chance to continue on about how he's coming, he's interrupted by Duke Hudson. He's in the crowd with the Chase U section.
Yeah.
He says, keep Andre Chase's name out of your damn mouth. And then he's got the big trophy. And he's like, last week you made a big mistake. You ruined my ceremony. Not only that, you tore the Chase U flag. You threw it down over my mentor. Why? Because you lost the NXT title? Because you're sad? You're moping around the place? No one puts down Chase U and gets away with it, not even Braun Breaker. So here we're going to do it. Spring Breaking, Braun Breaker, on behalf of Chase U, I challenge you to Mitch. And Braun says, yeah, it's pretty funny, Duke. Ha ha. Because last time I saw you grab your trophy, you took off running faster I've ever seen you move. You're real tough. Take 7 days to prepare. Take all the time you need. And then Duke interrupts again and says, Braun thought I was done talking. No. Or you thought I was done talking? No, the MVP wasn't done talking. He says, look at me. Next week is going to be a battle of the giants when you go up against the man himself, the beacon of hope, the beating heart of Chase U, Andre Chase. And he's going to give you an Andre Chase-sized ass whooping. And then Braun turns his camera and says, Andre Chase, enjoy these last 7 days you've got left to breathe. Because NXT spring breaking, I'm going to spear your ass in half. It's going to be end Chase U. You're going to die. In real life.
In real life. Because he's a bad guy now.
I'm a bad guy now. So I'm going to fight good guys. Yeah, Andre Chase. Did I miss there wasn't something after that where Andre Chase is like,
No.
what the fuck, Duke?
No response.
He's totally going to say that next week.
Yeah, I know.
Duke, what the fuck? And they're going to bleep it.
Yeah. Next, we had a Cora Jade interview, and she's asked if she regrets her comments last week. And Cora says, last week I was being nice. The only thing I regret is that Lyra had to come in and interrupt me before I could get to the rest of the locker room. Trust me, there's a lot more I could have said about a lot more people. I am the savior of the NXT women's division. But then she's interrupted by Gigi Dolan, who says, Cora, you didn't cut down the entire women's division. You showcased the displacement of your anger. How I know something so deep and so intimate? Because I learned to channel my anger and displacement by taking it out on people in the ring. And that's what's in store for you tonight, because this big Instagram famous ass is going to kick yours.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. After that, we had Yes Boys. Pretty deadly interview. They're asked about Tony Dean Stacks. Prince says, what we did to them was more than justified. The only way to get through the D'Angelos, those animals, is to speak their language. And Prince says, our brutal attack spoke volumes. When Tony D and Stacks ambushed us, they shoved me in a trunk, and I was panicking. I was disoriented. Elton, I'll never let you know what that feels like. We're never getting ambushed again. Ask Tony and Stacks what happens when you take us for two good-looking guys. Prince says, you get left beaten down. And then they said, I'm sure they want some payback. And then they challenge Tony D and Stacks. Says they're going to, what is it? Sleep with the fishes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So then we had Roxanne Perez versus Zoe Stark. Another really good bout.
Yeah, this is a good one, man.
That saw Roxanne get the win with Pop Rocks after she escaped Zoe's finisher. So afterwards, Roxanne grabs the mic, and then Indy Hartwell comes to the ring, also with microphone, says, congrats, Roxanne. I mentioned it a few weeks ago, but I want to mention it to your face. I'm not standing here women's champ if it wasn't for you. I would be much of a champ if I didn't return the favor to someone who was never defeated for a title in the first place. I want to be a fighting champion. So with spring breaking next week, how does it sound? Roxanne Perez versus Indy Hartwell for the title. And Roxanne says, Indy, you're my friend inside and outside of this ring, but we both know that when it comes to that title, it's every woman for themselves. Spring breaking, you're on. So they're about to shake hands. Not quite Mega Power style, but they're about to shake hands. Tiffany Stratton interrupts and says, what did I just witness? Another woman getting a title shot instead of me? Indy, why don't you just call your title reign for what it is? Pure dumb luck.
Eesh.
You barely climbed up that ladder, and now you're just handing out title matches to random beatable opponents. And Roxanne says, you must have a pretty bad memory, because if I remember, if I'm so beatable, why didn't you beat me in the breakout tournament?
Ooh.
But you didn't. And Stratton says, that's so 2020. Don't spin this on me. You're just excited to face the most beatable champion. And then Indy interrupts. Says, enough. Keep saying I'm beatable. Screw it. I don't care if you're a former champ. Or, in Indy's words, a bimbo who thinks that she has my number. At spring breaking, I'll prove I'm worthy by beating both of you.
Both of them. So let me ask you this. Let's pause here really quick.
Sure.
Given everything we've seen so far in NXT this week, who is most likely... Because Zoe Stark is like number one on the list. She is getting drafted. Otherwise, she would be. She's already lost a title defense match.
Yeah. And
she lost this against Roxanne Perez and sort of quantum leaped out of there. She is getting called up. And I feel like Grayson Waller's getting called up too. When is spring breaking? Is it next week?
Next week.
And when does the draft start?
Friday, a week from today.
A week from today. Okay, so the draft is the week of spring break and after spring break.
It's the Friday after spring break, yes.
So Waller's going to lose.
Monday.
Waller's going to lose and get called up.
Probably.
Zoe's going to get called up.
Yeah.
Pretty Deadly's probably going to get shoved into a trunk somewhere.
And then get called up.
And then get called up. I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Is there any? It seems like the Creeds are involved in something. Gallus are the champions.
Yeah. I would have said Braun,
around.
but he just turned heel, so he's not getting called up.
Yeah, they can get a whole year out of heel Braun.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. If you keep on saying that, I'm come out and saying you're seeing a different side of me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
If you notice, I'm wearing all black. That means I'm a bad guy.
I mean, Carter and Chance should be called up,
bro. I will believe that when I see it. I'll believe that when I see it.
They should be.
They should be, but it's also not how they do tag teams in the women's division.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Maybe this will be a sign that they're serious about really booking the women's tag division by actually calling up a tag team.
Yeah,
for the women's tag division.
Yeah.
Because those seem to be the most I would bet money that
those are like definites. Yeah.
Called up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like most everybody else is seemingly involved in something that would preclude them from maybe getting called up.
Right. Yeah. Everybody else is sort of involved in stuff. Like Wesley's champion Axioms and a thing with Scripps.
Yeah. Nathan Frazier's got a new talk show.
He's got a new talk show. Yeah. Yeah.
But Von Wagner's finally just opening up a little bit.
Yeah. Von Wagner read his own Wikipedia. And as of a couple weeks ago, he didn't have a Wikipedia entry, but he does have one in like a different language, like Spanish or something like that. Yeah. It was weird. Anyways, after that, we had a Grayson Waller interview. He says, "See me last week? I celebrated with my shoey high in the sky." And then McKenzie brings up his loss to Gargano and then unsanctioned match. He says, "You know what that word means? Unrecognized, or in other words, the match didn't happen. People are praying for my downfall, but look where I'm at. Back on top because I'm NXT." He says, "Tonight we get the Grayson Waller effect." He says, "Very interesting because I usually dislike my guests, but I like Mello. Who's better than Mello right now? I know one guy. But Mello has what I want, so tonight I'm going to tell him to his face I'm taking it next week at Spring Breaking. I'll physically take it from him. It's not a prediction. That's the Waller effect." That's terrible.
Say shoey.
Shoey! That's a terrible fucking impression.
It really is.
It's god-awful. Dirt worst.
So last week after Vaughn's loss, he's following Stone. And he's like, "Please, come on. Come on, Stone. Please,
Hey,
Stone.
Come on, Stone, please. Hey, don't walk away, Stone."
And he keeps on saying, "I'm ready." And Stone's like, "No, not going to happen." He says, "Why are you ready now? Because you lost the match, so you're finally going to open up to me." So he turns around and starts to walk. Vaughn says, "I'm finally going to open up. Come on."
Come on.
And Stone says, "Don't believe you." He turns and leaves. And this is what Vaughn says. Go ahead, Steve.
"My name's Von Wagner, and I always want to be in the WWE because this is in my blood. Hey, and my dad was a Beverly brother. He used to throw people on their heads called the Shaker Heights Spike. It was my favorite move. I used to do it to my pillow."
And so Stone stops, turns around, says, "That's a good start. Let's go."
Yeah.
Like the most basic. Like, why? Hold on a second. If you're Robert Stone and you're a manager, isn't there some sort of interview process when trying to...
No, I mean, pro wrestling, the interview process is you meander out when you see a dude is losing and then you offer up your services. You're like, "Hey, kid, I can help you win."
But if you're trying to take on a new client, wouldn't you just do the basic research into who this person is?
Well, you'd think they'd have dinner and talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd think they would do that. But it's pro wrestling, so they don't communicate unless the cameras are rolling. We've seen the extent of their
So they shared like a grand total of maybe 100 words.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
In the year they've been together?
Yeah, correct. Absolutely. There is no backstory. It's all on camera. Yeah. Hey, my name's Von. I love that. I marked out big time.
My name's Von Wagner.
Because he put his arm out awkwardly too. It was weird. It was like his
I know.
hand looked like it was like a Barbie doll hand. He's like, "My name's Von Wagner."
No articulation in the elbow?
Right, yeah, no. He's like, "My name's Von Wagner." He's like, "Maybe your problem is your elbow. Why is it locked up like that?"
Yeah, maybe you lose because you got,
Because you have
you're short a few points of articulation there.
You have no joint in your elbow area. You're short a few points of articulation. You're like, yeah. You're not exactly a McFarlane toy, are you?
No.
Oh my God, Leisha just gifted 10 more gifted subs. Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much. Thank you
gifted
so much.
Memberships, I should say.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is
We're at 152 likes. Get 48 more before Paul calls it.
Hey, let's do that.
He'd be over the moon.
Hit that like button. Hey, my name's Von Wagner. Hit that subscribe button now, too.
So after that, we had an Axiom video package, and he's like,
Axiom.
Scripps. He's like, "I know who Axiom is, but Scripps, you speak in riddles and hide your voice. He says all superheroes have a nemesis, but you are not mine."
Because he made him look like a chump last time.
Yeah, he did.
Tried to sneak up on him. He was like, "Nah, I got you, man."
Whoopah. Super kick.
No.
So then we had a TikTok video from Dandy Palmer. She's soon to be making her debut. And it starts out with her and Sol Ruca doing a dance. And then Tank Ledger... Frank Ledger. Let me be frank. And Hank Walker walk in, and everybody's like, "Congratulate! Lay the red carpet down for Tank Ledger, for he is an NXT superstar now. He had his first match." Everybody's like, "Yay for Frank Ledger!"
Yeah, and they started.
"You did my taxes for cheap. Thank you."
Yeah, let me be frank. I'm very happy with my first win, but you could win against the IRS. Do you need your taxes consolidated? Do you need your tax bill lowered? Come see Frank Ledger. Let me be frank.
Let me be frank.
Yeah, no, I couldn't understand a word anybody was saying in this because like they didn't have like an actual mic on, and it was actually filmed with like an iPhone.
So
but
this
they
is
were
what
standing
I
like 20 feet away.
This is what I gathered. Everybody's like, "Yay, Frank Ledger, you have your debut," and then he's like, "Yeah, it was great, Danny Palmer, you have your debut soon. It's gonna go as well as mine."
Right, yeah, and she just talked a lot, and I couldn't understand a word.
Yeah,
of
I
it
can
because she was kind of mumbly.
I mean, Tank was pretty happy considering he took the L, though.
Are they gonna make Tank and Hank a tag team? Because
Tank and Hank?
Their first names rhyme.
Sure,
they can combine them and they'll be Thank. Anyways, after that we had Gigi Dolan versus Cora Jade. Of course, JC Jane gets involved with this and does a bunch of distraction stuff, even though Gigi's able to throw her over the announce table and into Booker T.
Yeah.
So Gigi gets back in the ring. Cora hits her with a running knee, then a double underhook DDT to get the win. And then Cora says, "Another victim." And then she's interrupted by Lyra Valkyria. And she says, "The time for talking is over. Are you ready to wrestle the champ? Next week, your claim to being the savior of the women's
Well, let me
division."
tell you something, brother.
We'll be testing when the two of us engage in battle. That's spring breaking, brother.
Like they have her talk like it, like pretty florid prose.
Yeah, right.
Like we're gonna engage in battle at spring breaking.
Yeah, yeah. And then she has to drop the name of the show.
That's
spring breaking.
Spring breaking.
After that, we have an Eddie Thorpe interview. I kind of like this.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm so stoked I'm even here. When I left my home to see if I can make it, I traveled all around this country. Canada, the UK, Japan, LA dojo. I slept on dusty gym floors and warehouses. I slept in my car while in the New Japan dojo. He didn't say that. He says, every day for 8 years, I focused on enhancing my skill set and gaining knowledge, making sure I was more than prepared for this opportunity so I can make my family proud." He says, "When people think of Native Americans, they have these stereotypical images built in their minds. But I'm here now. I'm ready to succeed in NXT." And Damon Kemp, with his Tommy Bahama shirt, says, "Powerful speech, Eddie. I was just watching you from afar like I was doing last week, just checking out the new guys, seeing what all the buzz is about." And Eddie says, "Oh, you're giving me a look. Well, what do you got, Damon?" And he says, "To be honest, I was very impressed. Keep up the good work, kid. You might have something." Ooh, Eddie didn't like that. Very condescending.
It was very condescending from Damon Kemp.
Yeah.
Then we're at the bar, Briggs and Fallon. And Briggs is like, "I'm just trying to make sense of all this. Brooks flat out said that we aren't family." And Fallon's like, "Well, maybe once he cools off, he'll come around." And Briggs is like, "Yeah, I hope so." Well, then Kiana and Brooks step into the bar. And Fallon's like, "Oh, they're here. Cool. What are you drinking?" And Brooks like, "Nothing. I ain't drinking anything."
He's very fancy about it. I don't want it.
And then Briggs says, "Well, I'm glad you're here. Some of the stuff you said earlier, I'm happy you're here now. I'm happy you didn't mean it." And Brooks like, "Oh, no, I meant every single word I said."
Yeah.
He says, "Briggs, in fact, you've been holding me back since the day I started here, and Kiana reminds me that I am the star of the team, and you, Fallon, are just jealous that I have such a great relationship."
Oh, yeah.
And Briggs says, "That's it. I've heard enough. If you want to run around with a girl who's been cheating on you the whole time, go ahead. But I'm not going to sit here and listen to you talk to me and Fallon like that."
In my bar, no less. She says, "In my bar," which, by the way, they were totally pumping in crowd noise, and there was no crowd there whatsoever.
No people there whatsoever.
No.
And then Fallon's like, "Why are you even here?" And Brooks says, "We're here to challenge you to a mixed tag match at Spring Breaking." And Briggs and Jensen accept. Briggs is like, "Maybe I'll beat some sense into you then."
Yeah, right. Yeah. Man, I can't wait till Briggs and Fallon get their asses whooped.
Oh, you're going to pop huge for that, aren't you?
Oh, big time, yeah. They deserve it. Come on.
Yeah,
they'll need to apologize and eat a lot of shit because you guys literally broke into somebody's office. It was on. They literally brought a cameraman with them. So anyways,
it seems like in terms of just the criminal enterprise, that seems like a dumb move.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's put this on live cable TV.
Exactly. This seems foolish.
It is, absolutely. After that, we had Dijak. That's right, versus Apollo Crews. Hey, guess what, Apollo? You're here to take losses to Dijak. He hit a feast your eyes to get the win. Dijak looks for another one after the bell's over. He's going to keep on punishing Apollo Crews, but instead, the walking erection, Ilya Dragunov comes to make the save.
Ilya and Dijak's will be really good.
That is going to be a fucking match.
Yeah.
That is going to be a hell of a match.
Beat the hell out of each other.
That's right.
This match last night was really good with Dijak and Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, dude. Apollo, he's no joke. That's right. But he got some hard justice. Afterwards.
Now it's Arby's time.
Yeah, this was rough here. JC Jane's interview.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Oof.
This was shooting hard, man. She says if Gigi thought her life was tough before, it's nothing compared to what I'm going to put her through. I like that she's like talking about like, childhood neglect as going to be like, that's nothing compared to us running ropes and me giving her a lariat. But anyway, she says she forgot to mention that when she was 17, she abandoned her sweet baby brother, the one she claims she loves and cares about so much, left him all alone to endure her mother's abuse. She says Gigi's no noble soul. She'd rather wrestle on the indies or couch surf than protect her brother from her drug addict mother. She says, imagine leaving your 7-year-old brother to fend for himself. When I'm done with her, she's going to run away from NXT just like she ran away from her mother and brother. Ouch.
Oof.
Ouch.
Oof.
Stick in it.
Oof.
That's some hard justice.
Then we got Charlie Dempsey versus Wesley. Charlie Dempsey was pretty much dominating this match, especially early on after Drew Gulak helped him get the advantage. But then Wesley hits a kick, knocks Gulak off the apron, hits a cardiac kick for the win.
Yeah.
And afterwards, Gulak attacks Wesley from behind. Dempsey and Gulak just take turns punching and kicking Wesley. And then Gulak hits a powerbomb, and then Dempsey follows with a dragon suplex.
That Gulak Wesley match will be really good.
It will be. I think they said Wesley's coming up on the record for most title defenses for the North American title.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Right on. This was also filmed really nicely. Tony D and Stax at dinner. They had a nice like painting in the background, like right there, and it was like really nicely color timed and everything. Had some grain to it. This looked great. It's very cinematic. It was the lighting was a little on the flat side. They should have
a little flat.
They should have like done a bit more like some shadows,
lighting,
toss some shadows in there.
Exactly.
But the effort was made, and Tony says, next week, we got to do to them what we did to whatever that dude's name, Joey P. before,
something like that.
And Stax is like, oh yeah, really, we're gonna do that? He's like, yeah, we're gonna put him in a trunk, and we're gonna kill them. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna insinuate that they're dead, and then they're gonna show up in the draft to make a lot more money.
Yep. Well, we're going to be stuck here.
Great idea, boss.
Great idea, boss. Maybe we should be put in the trunk, and then we go to the main roster. No.
No, we don't want to do that.
No.
We ain't ready for main roster yet, Stax. We need more polish. Speaking of guys going to be main roster ready if they keep on doing these cool video packages, Obafemi is in a park, and he's throwing furniture everywhere. It's kind of
furniture. Cool. Well, started with smaller objects.
Yeah.
And eventually led to a couch, yes.
Yeah.
Chairs, couches, recliners, love seats. It was something else.
It was I was like, hey, meanwhile, there's some guy with an empty living room like, what are you doing? It's all my shit.
All my stuff.
Hey, damn it, Oba. Stop throwing all my stuff around. There's that guy. And then we had the main event segment, Grayson Waller effect with Carmelo Hayes. I didn't watch this.
It was
not gonna lie. I tended to watch it earlier today. I didn't.
It was all right. It was just them kind of insulting each other a little bit, just trying to build up some heat for the title match. But nothing here was really revelatory in terms of the story they were telling.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It was more of Waller saying, "I'm the viral superstar." Melo saying to Waller, "You managed to fail and yet continually get in the main event. How do you do that?" And Waller pretty much says, this proves that I may not be the champion, but I'm what the championship needs, or something like that. And he gives Melo some crap, a little bit about needing Trick's help to win. And so down towards the end here, they start taking jabs at each other. Waller says, maybe next week after I beat you for your title, maybe you can call up MVP, getting involved in his business, carrying Amos's luggage. And then Melo says, Logan Paul is looking for another guy in the Prime costume. He'd be really great for that, Grayson.
Oh, ouch.
And then Waller says, yeah, me and the Prime costume are more relevant than you and Trick will ever be. Next week at the end of the night, I'll have the NXT title in one hand and do a golden shoey over your body. And Melo asks how Waller is going to do a shoey when I put your shoes in the power lines.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh, yeah.
And then so Melo holds up the title Waller has his golden shoe he holds up, and they just talk trash to end the show. That was it.
Sounds right. That sounds about right. Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom,
Boom, boom, boom, boom,
boom,
boom.
boom,
Let's answer
boom.
some questions.
Let's do it.
I have a thread right here on the YouTube. You can get your question in on the YouTube or on the Patreon, patreon.com/Steve and Larson. First up from channel member Jonathan Vieira. Will NXT call-ups now be exclusively for drafts, or will we see some throughout the year?
That's
I think
a good question.
If there's something that makes sense from a story perspective, like Solo Sikoa Clash of the Clash of the Castle, we'll see it that way. But I don't think it's going to be arbitrary. I think it's going to be by necessity or via the draft.
Yeah, totally. We got a couple similar questions here from Luis and Steve somewhere. Essentially, who could we, whether it be a committee or an individual, get to help Tony Khan with creative in AEW?
Hire
Someone
Oasis.
who's available.
Oh. I don't know, man. I mean,
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Freddie Prinze Jr. Is Brian Gewirtz doing anything these days? He appears on like a lot of documentaries and stuff.
Yeah. Doesn't he work for Rock's production company?
Oh, does he do that? Okay.
I thought so.
All right.
Or did at one point. I could be wrong.
Yeah. I honestly don't know. I don't know who's like qualified, but it's seemingly you need somebody, man. You got to get somebody.
Yeah.
Blind Mask says, where would you want to see a wrestling show happen?
Where?
A beachfront or Dodger Stadium, he says, would be nice.
Just anywhere.
Anywhere.
Barge in international waters.
That's great. Yeah. I like that. I mean, we've seen it like a cruise ship. We've seen that, the Jericho cruise.
Yeah.
I would say, like a pier.
Oh.
Like in Atlantic City, a pier in pier in Atlantic City.
That's good.
Perhaps.
Didn't GCW do a show on the pier in Atlantic City?
Yeah, it was really poorly filmed.
Yeah.
Like it was all in shadows. It was all like backlit.
Yeah, they didn't bring any lights in for it.
Just get like one giant reflector. Jeremy Krecklau says, should Tiffany win and build the next era of NXT women's division around her and call up both Roxanne and Indy? Yeah, sure. Why not? They should call up Indy. I don't know about Roxanne. I think Roxanne should be in NXT for a while.
Yeah.
I think if nothing else, and obviously this is up to her and what she thinks is right for her mind, but if there's any truth behind that anxiety thing that she talks about, then jumping up to the main roster, I don't know, that might be a lot for somebody's mental health to take. I don't know. I'm just saying, throwing that out there.
Yeah, I mean that's something to consider, I suppose. But yeah, I mean without knowing the situation for sure, it's hard to
whatever's
to
best
really
for
say.
her.
Obviously, whatever's best for her health and whatnot. No, obviously. Stan here says, after your discussion yesterday about a certain group of wrestlers who Tony Khan seems to have little interest in promoting, can't help but make you look back at Big Swole leaving and Tony's reaction to her comments in a new light, and realize that she clearly saw something no one else wanted to. Sorry, not really a question, I know. Yeah, after yesterday's show, I thought about Swole's comments after she left, and the issues that she saw at the time persist to today.
Seemingly,
unfortunately.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Seemingly.
Mike Honcho says, with AEW rumored to be heading towards a brand split, should Tony have rebranded Rampage to Ring of Honor? I think that, number one, it does bum me out that, and I know it's available there if I want it. I know we subscribe to Ring of Honor. I prefer to watch my AEW stuff on cable television. I don't watch the YouTube shows.
Yeah, I don't either.
But every time I see clips of Athena doing cool shit, it always bums me out that she's not doing that cool shit on cable TV.
I know.
And I do think part of me thinks that maybe you could have taken the AEW branding and merged it for a brand split with Ring of Honor. Like the Saturday show could be AEW presents the Ring of Honor, That could have been a cool name for a show, and you're honoring Ring of Honor. I don't think it needs to be its own brand. But it could be a sub AEW brand, but still branded AEW. Instead, now they got this Collision thing, which is going to be its own brand as well. So it's going to be like 3 different brands under
Yeah.
AEW, which is just
That's a lot. Yeah. Well, I mean, the same as WWE. You got 3 brands.
I know, but WWE's been around for like 60 years, and like it seems it's like a natural thing. You have a pro wrestling company that's 4 years old, and all of a sudden you have 3 brands under it.
They're playing catch up. What can I tell you, Steve?
They took my checkbook.
They stole my checkbook. Nikyle says, assuming LA Knight wins Money in the Bank later this year, would his run with the briefcase be better than Theory even while Roman is still undisputed champion? But here's the thing. No one's cashing in on Roman.
Yeah, nobody's going to cash in on Roman. If they split those titles, then that title that's not on Roman, that's going to be the one cashed in on. Yep. That's a guarantee right there.
Yep.
Donkey Dong says, with today's landscape, which wrestlers from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and Impact would you exchange between each other to help solve each promotion's issues? I don't know that like swapping wrestlers is going to change creative issues, though.
No, if the issues are in creative department or management, swapping wrestlers around isn't going to change anything. No,
like everybody has an appropriate number of the of the appropriate wrestlers. I mean, Impact. What do you think Impact's issues are? Impact's issues are like they don't have enough. They don't have enough money. They don't have enough money to be bigger than they are.
Well, seemingly they have money. They just don't have a good TV deal.
Well, they don't have money to get like guys like Bray Wyatt and like.
I don't know. I mean, seemingly I would think they don't have like basically any money, but yet they have money to buy their own network.
Yeah, I know, but like they don't have the money and infrastructure to do like live TV every week.
Oh, I know, but I think part of that too is because they don't have a good TV deal. If they had a better TV deal that brought them actual money to the company, then they might have the means to actually do better TV.
It's like catch-22.
It is a catch-22.
Yeah, chicken and the egg type situation.
I was about to say the same thing, yeah.
June Wilson says, should Swerve Strickland disband the Mogul affiliates and join Bullet Club Gold? No. Mm-mm. He should be his own guy and have him do his own thing and have him challenge MJF for the world title and then win it.
Yep. Elvin, with WWE being sold and the draft coming soon, which show do you think Endeavor sees as more of a priority? Raw on USA or SmackDown on Fox? I mean, SmackDown's on the broadcast network. That's going to get just naturally more eyeballs in front of it, potentially.
Ooh, evidently Twitch says we're down, but now people are saying refresh.
Oh.
What does Endeavor see as the I don't think Endeavor sees them as separate things to prioritize. I don't think, because it's like they're selling these. They want the maximum value for their product.
Yeah.
So I think they sort of, I don't know. I think they're just like, oh, how much money can we get for these things? I don't know if they prioritize one. What's the question again?
Oh, I clicked to a different tab.
Oh, thanks. Sorry.
Which show do you think Endeavor sees as more of a priority?
Yeah, I don't think that. I think they see whichever show can get the most money. If all of a sudden NBC, the network, wants to pay $5 trillion for Monday Night Raw, that's going to be the priority. I don't know if they see either one as like more of a priority than the other.
The answer to SmackDown because it's on the broadcast network. We got some super chats here. Lucci Club Studios suggests the Creeds leave Ivy backstage.
Oh yeah, she's a bit of a liability sometimes, huh?
Jose Alaguna says, do you think Tony Khan can't mediate because he was pushed into the broom closet after the locker room stole his checkbook?
Oh, it could be. Possibility.
TNA for life with the super chat. Thank you so much. And I think that's it. I think we're caught up there.
Just a couple more here on the YouTube. Goo Boy says, who are 5 people should be drafted from NXT to main roster? We sort of mentioned who we think is going to be doing that. High Plains Rifter says, why are they catering to Punk this much? Because Warner Brothers thinks that he's worth a lot of money to them.
Plus Delta. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Heather Wright wants to know, can they really consider Von Wagner as a call-up?
He kind of feels like he still has story to tell in NXT. And by that, I mean his first real story.
I feel like he could be theoretically called down to level up still.
Yeah.
That's as much a likely possibility.
He could be relegated, yes.
Yeah, he might go back down and become property of the Performance Center.
Yeah.
They might be like, hey, we got a new Performance Center class, including the first ever demotion. Von Wagner is back, and he's got the picture again.
Yeah, exactly, with the shirt on.
Yeah.
He cut his hair for it.
Right.
Edward Munoz here says, I've seen it happen before when you discussed the Punk stuff, but I saw a lot of pushback against Steve's epic pipe bomb yesterday, mostly chat, but some comments too. So I was curious, do you guys ever worry about pushing away any viewers, old or new? Feels like some content creators, even ones as outspoken as wrestling fans, sometimes try to be as up the middle as possible. Some point of not giving their true opinions. Have you ever felt pressured to do so?
Sure, we're a business. We like money. But some things are so blatant that it feels incredibly disingenuous to not point out the total obvious, just the absolute obviousness of it. Mm-hmm. And, we have people that are close to us, who offer up different points of view that sort of keep us in line with that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, but yeah, I mean, it's, that's why we try to be as honest as possible and as genuine as possible. Because I've seen plenty of disingenuous arguments out there, and I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, when you see something that's so obvious that, and to me, it's validated that out of all places, the YouTube comments, we didn't have to delete a single one.
Nope.
Because it was comment after comment after comment of like, I feel the same way. Steve's really hit on something here.
Yep.
And that to me validates it because, I saw some in chat yesterday as we were talking about it, and nothing was too like inflammatory or like, oh, what are you guys doing? But when even the YouTube comments are on the same page, that's when I know, okay, we're being honest about it, and we're speaking to something that people agree with.
Yeah.
And I know the issue of races can be for many people a very uncomfortable one, but it's a very real one that that sometimes you just it's so blatant that you address it, like, when am I supposed to not say something that's so obvious in front of me? Mm-hmm. So I mean, what we talk about here on the show, I would love to just talk about like the wrestling product. And I feel like that's what we do. But, sometimes there are issues that are embedded in that to such a degree that like you have to talk about it. Mr. Dope here says, just because these things happen, it doesn't mean the person is racist. I don't know Tony Khan.
Yeah.
I don't know him. I don't know what's in his head or what's in his heart. I have nothing to base what I say on with his pro wrestling decisions. My theory, personally speaking, is he's a man who's built his career analyzing things and using analytics and metrics. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't surprise me if his thing was, I look at these analytics and so I'm going to push these people because they have been proven ratings draws. The problem with that is that there are certain baked in demographics that would preclude him from taking a risk on certain other athletes, certain other wrestlers. And that's going to skew towards a certain demographic and away from a certain demographic, which is going to land you in the position you're in right now. That's my best guess, but I have no idea what's going on in his head or heart.
We talked about Swole's comments after her contract wasn't renewed. And her two major complaints is there's a lack of structure and a lack of representation and management.
Yeah.
And when you have a lack of representation and management, these things can happen too.
Yeah. You got to put the work in to build up people. And then they'll start maybe reflecting in those analytics.
Exactly. If you just rely on analytics as your basis for pushing or not pushing people, I mean, then you're foregoing a lot of your work as a booker, which is developing new characters and developing talent. Yeah. And if you put the equity into developing characters and talent with interesting storylines and interesting characters, that will pay off in your analytics.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But if you're relying solely on analytics and hoping to catch lightning in a bottle because one particular character happens to capture the imagination of the audience, I mean, you're forsaking a good portion of your job as a promoter, as a booker.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You got to put in the work. But yeah, no, it's a business, and we try to be very, I try to be very careful with what I say. And I understand that oftentimes I'm the one of us that doesn't have much of a filter. But oftentimes that's also because I'm trying to make you laugh, or I'm trying to make our audience laugh. But when there's a situation that I see unfold in front of me, it seems weird to me. It seems unnatural not to address it.
Totally.
So
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%.
So anyways, on that note, that's going to, oh no. Oh, wait a second. What am I talking about? We got Triple H still.
Yeah.
He's going to talk about SmackDown. All right. I mean, hopefully it's just him. I don't know. These days, anybody can zoom in. So anyway,
I hope not. Gosh.
And do this over here. So I got this paperwork to take care of. Anyways, here he is. Hello, hi. This is Triple H, the Game of Games. How can I help you?
Hi, Triple H. How are you today?
Don't interrupt. I'm doing all right, all things considered. I'm trying this new diet called Grapefruit 45. Yeah, that's right. I don't need grapefruits. I got these little pills instead. They're filled with crank. But I'm sure trying to lose 100 pounds in 50 days. So
why?
Oh man, I'm trying to be fit. Trying to be more. I'm trying to lean. Trying mean and lean. That's what Nick Khan says. I want mean and lean.
All right. I can't tell you what to do, Triple H, but maybe think twice about that particular product.
I thought 3 times about it. I'm going to think 45 more times about it. Grapefruit 45.
All right. Well, so did you write today's SmackDown on while taking Grapefruit 45?
I'm writing it right now. I wrote 60 pages in the last 10 minutes here because I took some Grapefruit 45. It's got my mind just fired up.
Oh my gosh.
I'm tweaking, man. I'm tweaking hard.
All right. So what can we expect from SmackDown tonight? I'm expecting
what
a
can't
fever
you
dream.
expect from SmackDown?
Yeah,
I've got everybody on the roster. Everybody's got
fear
a match.
and loathing in SmackDown tonight, huh?
I booked 83 matches for tonight's SmackDown.
Wow.
Yeah. That's right. First up, WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan to defend their titles against Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. You hear my teeth grinding? It's because of Grapefruit 45.
Oof.
It's like that movie Requiem for a Dream. Xavier Woods will attempt to dethrone Intercontinental Champion Gunther.
Is that match going to get at least 20 minutes?
Yeah, it's getting I got 83 matches out here. Every match is going to get 45 seconds in honor of Grapefruit 45. Don't interrupt. And then Braun Strowman and Ricochet look for retribution against their Viking Raiders. That's only 3 of the 83 things I've got booked. There's 80 more things booked for tonight's show.
Oh my goodness!
So many talk show segments.
Oh my god!
Hologram wrestlers.
At least they'll be short. Every segment's 45 seconds. You said, right?
I'm 6'4". I'm not short.
What?
Yeah, you heard me. Hold on, I gotta go do some laps on my Grapefruit 45.
Oh my god!
He's gone. I actually watched that one. He's taken to the Grapefruit 45 diet.
That's a terrible idea.
It's just meth and crank. It's just a little pill of speed. That's not good.
Maybe if we get in contact with the Postal Service, they can intercept.
It's probably a good idea. The Postal Service probably doesn't know WCI is back on their bullshit. Pushing that Grapefruit 45 on the public, Larson. That was nutty. What a
such
crazy
an obscure reference.
People like Grapefruit 45. What is happening right now?
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh, anyway. Echo here in chat says WWE Twitter says Riddle versus Sola no DQ match. Didn't we just see that match? Riddle and Sola?
Yeah, we did. They're going back to that one.
Oh, Vince is back in charge.
God damn it. He's like, Dad, we already saw that one. It's like, shut up, kid. Try this pills. Grapefruit 45.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.